If you ever felt like trading just wasn't clicking for you and you were watching all the free content, taking notes, and it still wasn't working, you're about to meet somebody who was right there too. In this video, one of my Profitable Traders Academy students is going to tell you about how she was feeling uncertain about the NAS 100 market and overwhelmed, and finally becoming more confident, focused, and most importantly, profitable inside of the market. She says that this program has given her the confidence and the structure in order to finally understand what's happening inside of the markets and not just hopping from strategy to strategy, trying a whole bunch of things that don't really work. And now she knows exactly what she's looking for when she opens up the charts, and she knows how to wait for the exact things that she's looking for inside of the market. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, go ahead and keep watching this video, because this might be the mindset shift that you are finally looking for. Portia, and just, I'm curious, how did you get into trading and how did you choose NAS 100 as the market that you wanted to focus on?
Okay, so first off, I work in the office at Frito-Lay. I'm a food safety admin. So I was actually doing that at the time that I was looking into trading as well in 2019. So it kind of just, I think I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I was seeing a lot about it at the time. And I didn't jump immediately into it. I think I researched it for about 2 months because I'm like, they say they're making money like reading charts, looking into markets. So at that time, I think it was around the holidays. So I actually just researched it for like 2 months, maybe 3 months, just to hear a lot about it. It was YouTube basically. So
Okay.
then I found this one mentor that I wanted to learn from. She seemed pretty legit. So
Okay.
I started learning from her and hopping on Zoom calls with her. At that time, I was looking into actual Forex pairs. So I think it was like I was like trading, like trying to trade GU and GJ. I wasn't even looking at NAS at the time. So that's what's funny because I was more on the Forex side.
Okay.
So it's actually kind of slower,
Yep.
but I didn't actually start looking into NAS until like last year,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Wow.
Like, yeah, it was like like July of last year. That's when I wanted to take the switch over. So I started looking at NAS and marking up NAS to see. And I didn't immediately start trading because I seen how fast, it was. It was like a practice thing with me just marking up. And I still wasn't profitable at the time, even with the Forex pairs.
Oh, okay.
Right, because like I told you before, I had a problem with like top-down analysis. I always stayed on one chart, so that was my
Oh,
issue. I didn't know how to go from like the higher time frame to the lower time frame. So
oh
I
wow.
always just stayed on one chart. That's pretty
Oh
much.
wow. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I've heard people say, before, and I always get the question, what time frame do you enter on? And it's just like there's no one time frame.
Right,
To look at all these other time frames to make
right.
sure that it even makes sense to enter.
Sense, right. That's why it didn't make sense to me because I was always on one time frame.
Yeah. Before joining the Profitable Traders Academy, what were some of the biggest struggles or frustrations that you had with trading overall?
Okay, so my biggest one was top-down analysis for one. Actually looking at the higher time frame level. I was always staying on the lower time frame. Like I think I didn't go anywhere past the 1 hour time frame.
Oh, wow.
So I was always starting like with that time frame. So I
Hmm.
didn't, even when it came to entries, like my trades are always like go against me because I wasn't looking at the higher time frame level. So
Mm.
that was one. And then it was also discipline, me chasing trades, not being patient, discipline. I was over trading. And pretty much, yeah, that's it pretty much.
Yeah, no, no, those are real things, because everything that you mentioned are things that I struggled with in the past before.
Hmm.
I think as far as like over trading, I want to say in my first, I want to say 6 months, maybe even less of trading, like when I first learned about it, like somebody said, "Oh, you should journal your trades." I'm like, "Okay, great, I'll journal my trades." But then when it got to journaling, I'm like, "I took 19 trades today. I am not journaling
Right,
all this."
right, right,
So
right.
so that kind of steered me in a a direction of taking less trades because I didn't want to journal
Mhm.
it.
Right.
So, out of curiosity, what specific mindset shift did you had when you went from inconsistent results to making consistent gains in the NAS 100 market?
It was pretty much me learning top-down analysis and
Hmm.
being able to be patient until, price hit my zones. So now I was actually trading, like I was taking multiple trades, but now
Hmm.
I catch myself just taking maybe two at the most per week. So
Oh, nice.
patience was a big factor in that, and discipline as well, like not over trading. Like every
Hmm.
day I don't need to take a trade. And that I'm just now, learning that every
Yeah.
day is not a trading day.
Yeah, exactly. And just to take people back a little bit, you said that you started trading around 2019, right?
Right.
And now we're in 2025 and it's been
Right.
6 years and you're like, finally.
6 years. Right. It's literally finally clicking. Right. It took 6 years.
It's amazing how we have to go through things and unlearn wrong behaviors in order to take on the right behaviors once we're taught like
Right.
this is what you need
Right.
to be doing. Wow, that's
Right.
wow. So, LaPortia, was there any particular lesson or part of the program that also made things click for you in terms of being able to trade consistently at this point?
I think it was the way that you mark up. That's what caught my attention when I was first even watching your YouTube channels, like
Hmm.
starting from the weekly time frame. Because, like I said before, I didn't know I didn't even look at the weekly time frame. So
Oh,
I
wow.
think me looking at those higher time frame levels and then
Hmm.
scaling down to the lower time frames, it helps me see clearer. So I was able to be patient and say, okay, just wait. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Wait till price hits your area and then, check it out and see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate how important it is to wait for price to hit your zone. Because even to this day, I see stuff and I'm like, ooh, like based on this time frame, I could possibly
Right.
enter. But then it's like, no, has it in your zone? No, you need to wait.
No, right. Yep.
So take people through, how your trading process looked prior to joining the Profitable Traders Academy to what it looks like now, just at a high level.
Okay, so before I joined the program, like I said, I was not profitable at all. I do still work, so I was working like, 12 hours a day. So sometimes I would, some weeks I wouldn't trade at all.
Hmm.
But I would say like before I started the program, like last year, because I was over trading. So as far as like the trades per week, if I'm taking, 7 trades per week, I'm only winning like two of them. So I
Oh,
was
wow.
always
Okay.
ending the week in negative. It wasn't even like at break even.
Oh, wow.
So I was losing more trades than I was winning. And like I said, I'm
Wow.
not close to where I want to be, but as far as winning the trades, like I haven't had a losing trade since June 1st. So
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
yeah.
So, like 6 weeks
Six
roughly.
weeks, right. And it
Yeah.
does take patience. And then now, like I said, like my trading plan calls for only 75 pips, points. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay,
For
nice.
NAS. So, like
Yeah.
you said before, you don't need a lot of points to make, money on NAS. So
Right.
the ones like if I'm trading and I catch like 100 or more points, that's like the only trade I'm taking for the week.
Right. Like,
I
let's keep this
might get one
straight.
more, but like now I'm like, okay, I don't want to be greedy like I was doing before and lose that profit. So I'm working on, okay, let me wait till I see another setup that I like in order to
Hmm.
take the trade.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah. And that's a really good point too. It's like you don't have to take trades all the time. And
Right,
depending on the market, you don't have to, have like these like crazy, hundreds of pips or point trades in order to have
right,
consistent profit, which,
right,
Nas 100 is definitely one of those markets because I traded it for a little bit. So, like
right,
consistently for a little bit. So,
right.
okay, cool, cool. So, if somebody has been watching from the sidelines for a while and thinking about joining the Profitable Traders Academy, what would you say to them?
I would say just join. You know what I mean? It does I know it could be a little frustrating like in the beginning if we're not getting it, but
Mhm.
it does take work. It takes consistency, discipline, and I would say to just don't focus on the money because that was my issue too. Like, don't focus on the money right now. Focus on learning the
Hmm.
skill, learn how to read the charts, and learn how to mark up, and then the money will come later.
Yeah, yeah, because it's scalable. Like once you get
Right,
that consistency and been like, okay, I'm not losing, I'm not at break even,
right,
even if it's like, $5, depending on, the lot size and stuff.
right,
If
right,
you're consistently getting that, that adds up.
right, right. It does.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's great advice. And LaPortia, thank you so much for joining. You have
Thank you.
a rock star in the community. Your posts are very inspirational for everyone in the community. Definitely me. It's just really good, to see people actually doing the work, asking the questions. You showed up at so many of the calls that we have here a couple times a week and just asking questions,
Hmm.
getting feedback, and that's what it takes. And I know that you'll continue that because you've only been in the community. Let's see, we're in July now, so -2, like 5 months, and you are
Right,
already on a 6 week gaining streak in the market.
right.
So definitely want to keep that up. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.